Okay guys, so you ready for me to hit you up with a very different kind of swap? Let's get to it. I've been thinking about this for a long time and I don't know why I just haven't gotten around to it. I started doing the loaded pockets, the stuffed loaded pockets, and I just really love those, and some other, kind of swaps that we do, but I think this will be fun. So I'm going to talk quickly, well, I don't know how quickly, about the rules. I don't think it's going to be that involved. I think this is just going to be fun, and the theme is basically your favorite, so whatever it is, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. So if I use any of the items that I can link in the description box, those will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. Having said that, the base of what we're doing is from the Dollar Tree, and it is only that clipboard. It's going to be an altered clipboard, and I'm calling it, and so it is just the Crafty clipboard, altered clipboard, and embellishment swap is what it is. So I just came up with a Crafty clipboard. It sounds cute because what we're going to put on there are things that people can use to make their crafts, and stuff like that. Of course, paper crafts. It's all going to be paper related, you guys. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. What I'm showing you here is a flat rate, the padded envelope that I like to use for swaps. And what I'm showing you is how the two clipboards do fit in here. Now, you see, nothing is going on with these clipboards. They have not been decorated or anything like that, and I want you to see how kind of snug that was already, okay? So, to impress upon you right at the top, these cannot be super thick, okay? These are both from the Dollar Tree, obviously. I don't know why one has a tag, the other one doesn't. Oh, I might have taken it off just to see how easy it is to take off. This is what I'm expecting. Again, they're at the Dollar Tree. I used to love the clipboards that big, the classic top that is really, really cute. But what I like about this is it fits in that mailer really nicely, so it's really great for swaps. And what we're going to be doing, guys, is altering this, and we're going to be adding some certain die cut type things onto it, attach them in a way that's not just like sticking them on. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. I'll obviously walk you through everything. So if you're interested, my email will be in the description box. You know what day is today? Let me think about dates really quick and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm filming this a little bit early, so I'll probably launch this on New Year's Day. So Happy New Year, everyone. You'll have until the 4th to sign up. If it gets full, because I haven't done a swap like this before, I will shut it down before that, okay, guys? And the reason I'm even overlapping this with the my Happy Valentine swap is because I knew not a lot of people were going to sign up for that, because not everyone has those specific cases from the Dollar Tree. So there's like 30 people, I think, if even that many, that are signed up. So this will be another fun one to kind of put over the same time frame. This is not a Valentine swap. It's your favorite paper pack. If you're, I guess I should talk about that. All it is you're going to pick your favorite paper pack. I'm sure I have a million favorite paper packs. So just the paper pack that you really, really love. This is not for paper that's just plain, or you're going to stamp it or all this other. No, you need to have paper packs, guys. So I know I have heard from people that say, oh, I don't have pattern paper. I'm not sure how that happens, but you're going to pick one out, guys, if you want to join this swap. It has to be pattern paper. It has to come from a paper pack. And if you want to include info about what paper pack you use, that'd be great. But basically everything's going to be coordinated on here, so we'll talk more about that in just a minute. But you'll have until the 4th to sign up, January 4th, 2023. Again, if it fills up, I'll let you know. And as far as postage, you need to include with your swap postage of $10.60 for the flat rate padded envelope, and your swap needs to be sent in by January 21st, which is a Saturday, and that's fine. I'm not in any rush on this one because it's not like for a certain occasion or anything like that. So the 21st, and when they all come in, obviously, not that I'm not in a rush. What I'm trying to say is you have a few weeks, and I'm giving you until Saturday. So even if, things start coming in, trickling in later in the week, because a lot of times they're usually in by Thursday. You guys are really good at sending in, and things are in, We'll go into the next week, and that's fine, as far as delivery, of course. So you're going to pick out two of the clipboards. Again, the Jot clipboards from the Dollar Tree. I'm sure they have them on their website. If not, they're in like the office supply part. And if you can't find them, guys, I'm sorry. This is just what it is. It's fine. Join the next swap. It's fine, right? So again, for this swap, you're going to pick your favorite paper pack, and you are going to go for it. And what I want you guys to do is, let me see, I do have some rules written down, but let's just go with it. So basically when I email you guys, it's something like this, and you can please read every single word of it, you guys. Not everything is there. It's just like a synopsis of what we're talking about here. So the videos, watch them front and back. Please, please, please. This is not hard, okay? This is not gonna be hard. I'm gonna show you how to cover these. If you want to use Mod Podge and stuff like that, that's fine. I think that's a real old school thing we used to do, and it's okay. But to be honest, with the humidity and other things where I live and stuff, I feel like it gets sticky again sometimes. So I would really just stay away from that. I'm just talking about nice, clean swap, and I'll show you. I'm just gonna use ATG or double-sided tape to stick down the paper on our actual clipboard. So just, you know, have some fun, take some time, and then we're gonna build in a pocket, which actually I haven't even designed in my head yet. So when we start working on it, we'll do that so that you can tuck some things. Because what happens is if you clip things up here, that's cute. But then down here, it's harder to stick things on, and we can do binder clips, but that adds bulkiness, and maybe the one binder clip bothers the other swap. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to attach a pocket, and so we're going to inlay a pocket that's actually like embedded in it, you know? So we'll do that together. So what you're going to do is pick your favorite paper pack, and everything that you put on here is going to be coordinating with that. So we're going to cover this with paper. We're going to add our pocket, and then you want to add at least 3 embellishments, and that can be lace and stuff like that. Obviously nothing too bulky. I said low profile things, and we'll talk about it as we go through. And then the clipboard will also have one large pocket at the base. And it has to be the way I'm showing it to you guys, especially for this first time. Maybe later you can make your own pockets, I don't know. But for right now, it's going to be what I'm showing you, and that's how you need to construct it, okay? The clipboard, number 2, will have certain things attached that are created from your favorite paper pack and supplemental items. I know maybe if you're doing like flowers, maybe you don't want to cut them from the pattern paper, whatever. You will include 3 shaker type die cuts, okay? Complete sets as described in the video. So what I'm envisioning here is on this side we'll have like a little bag or something that clips to this that holds 3 shakers. So die cuts, you're not putting the shakers together, it's just the items that go with it. So you're going to do the topper part, how it usually has like a frame. You're going to cut the acetate, you're going to cut the background piece, and depending on the shape of your shaker, you're going to need to cut what actually creates like the space so that the shaker can shake. Usually I do that with foam adhesive. For this like it might not work here, but we'll talk about that when we get there, okay? So you need to include 3 shakers that are deconstructed, not put together, but you have to include all the pieces that go for it, into it, right? Whatever it is that you're including as far as your shaker. Again, it's your theme basically, because it's your paper pack. Whatever it is that you want to make shakers, shapes and design, that's up to you. And then on the other side here, we're going to attach a shaker mix. So the shaker mix has to be, like I've done all the swaps, 3 or more glitter types, shapes, spangles, sequins, whatever it is, but your glitter mix needs to, or your shaker mix needs to include 3 or more different types of glitter shapes and all that kind of stuff. And I usually say at least a tablespoon each. I think we're going to do a little more because you're going to fill up 3 different shakers with it. So I'll include that info when we get there. And in the guidelines. Sorry guys, it's getting late. Kids are waking up. Let's see here. And then each clipboard will have 3 die cuts that will create 3D embellishment items. So down here we're going to have a pocket, and in there we're going to tuck in some die cuts. And the die cuts need to be complete sets. Just like the shaker has complete sets, we're going to include 3 die cuts. And what I mean by 3 is like 3 sets. Like let's say it's a rosette, and I probably will include a rosette type die cut. I'll show you this one. This is not meant to make a rosette by itself. You need to cut this twice. If you have short rosette dies, if you have a die that's kind of like short, like let's say 6 to 8 inches, it really means you need to cut it twice, because there's no way this makes a circle. It just won't, because it's just too small. And I don't think people understand that, because I've seen in swaps where people include like a piece of rosette that's like this, and I'm like, oh, okay, well that's not gonna do anything, because you need 2 pieces at least. So I think the only ones I've ever seen that it's just the 1 strip is like the really old Tim Holtz rosettes, because it was like a long strip, and that's fine. It usually needs to be at least like 10 to 12 inches to make a rosette. Even a short rosette, a small guy, like this guy obviously is too wide to just make a little tiny one. It needs at least 6 to 8 inches. So just know that when you have a rosette die, you need to include 2 pieces, okay? Because it won't complete a whole rosette with just with 1 little strip. We'll talk about this when we get there, because you can make some by hand. If you do all the scoring and have them ready, that's good. For me, that's good, because scoring is the pain part, right? So if I receive it and it's already scored, I'm happy. So like, again, these will not be assembled but left flat. So like rosette strips or bows, right? Pieces of the bows that you'll need. So again, the tails, the topper part, the middle part, everything that's included that you need to make a bow, but flat. right? Layered flowers, okay? Not just one flower layer and say, oh, that's good enough. No, it needs to have different layers so that it makes a 3D item. Whatever it is that you're including, it has to make a 3D item, okay? And I meant embellishment item. I know we can include like things to make like little bags and stuff, but that's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for embellishment items, okay? Things that you can use for embellishments. And they should be cut from papers from the paper pad or pack that you chose. That's the whole point. So again, keeping it all within your color family theme, you know, your pattern paper. Let's see. And those will be packaged and tucked into the clipboard pocket as shown in the tutorial. And then each swap will have to include 3 5x7 pieces of your paper pad. So whatever paper pad you're using, include 3, just cut 5x7 pieces. I'm not talking about die cuts, I'm talking about just a piece of paper, because that way the person can either make like an A2 card with it, they can mat it on a 5x7, they can die cut it themselves. But you have to include at least 3 pieces of paper that are cut 5x7, and they'll be tucked in this pocket too. Again, this is all decorated, so it's going to look really cute, I think. And one thing I did leave off, and I totally forgot, and I'll write it in, because that was already number 4 and that was it, is to decorate something up here. So we're going to include up here maybe a little tassel, maybe a dangle, maybe just some seam binding bow, something to decorate this top part. And you can attach it to this top part because see how that pokes up, or you can attach it here, right? So some kind of embellishment on the clippy. Okay, so we'll get to that when we get to that. But hopefully you understand. I don't think it's, honestly, to make 2 of these, it's not going to take you that long. And only 2, please. I know before I was giving people 2 or 4s. Just 2. Just the 2. They're going to fit in the thing. They're not going to be super thick. Everything I just mentioned to you is pretty flat, right? So even adding a pocket and decorating it, and that's why I'm just saying a pocket, and the pocket's going to be flat, guys, because whatever you tuck in here cannot be like bulging out. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be kind of a quick one. So I am giving you 3 weeks, which I feel like is plenty time. I'll get mine done pretty much here. And again, I'm not using Mod Podge. We're just going to stick our paper on. If you want to put paper on the back, that's up to you. I'm going to leave it blank just like that because I like the look of the chipboard kind of color. And you might ask, people I know ask me, oh, I've seen this kind of thing at some other, you know, dollar store. Can I use that one? I would say no. Okay, just because I know this fits and I like the look of the craft card, and I think that appeals to everyone. You know, somebody shows up with like a purple one or like a bright pink one, and let's just keep it nice and toned down with this. And as you can see, these are 2 different shades even between them. But it needs to be this guy, okay? Because everything that goes along with it's going to be instructed on this particular clipboard. So I'm hoping you can find them, and go ahead and sign up if you haven't found them yet. Obviously, if you don't have them in your stash yet, go to the store later, and if you don't find them, you know, just let me know you weren't able to find them. I'll take you off the list. But for now, you want to sign up, because if it fills up, you know, that's it. So I would say sign up even if you don't have them in your hand, and then go look for them, you know, pretty soon here. So that is that, guys. What we're going to do is start doing some measuring, getting our paper down. I don't know how far I'm going to get in this video, but we'll see. So I think that's all pretty straightforward. Please do not join if you live in a home where someone smokes, because the smoke smell will permeate this, and it's just, I can't in good conscience send that to somebody else. And to be honest, it kind of gives me a headache whenever I open them. So please don't do that. All right, well, I'm going to grab one of my favorite paper pads. And the reason I even came up with this is, like I told you, maybe you saw my last video, I've been kind of cleaning up and getting ready, you know, just this room needs to be organized again. Like, it's ridiculous. And I'm coming across all these different paper pads, and I'm like, oh, I like that one. It's like, you forget, so it's like shopping your stash, basically. So everything hopefully I'm asking you for, you guys, you can cut, you know, on your Cricut if you have your dies already, and just picking a paper pad. I don't think this is super involved, you know, but use your best products. Like I say, it's not a Dollar Tree exchange. I've started saying that last time around because I feel like sometimes I see that where it's just like everything you can tell it's just from the Dollar Tree, and it's like, that's not quite what this is about. Use your very best products. We're looking for pattern paper packs. We're not looking for just plain paper. If I see that, it's going to go back without being swapped, you guys. You got to stick to the rules, and it needs to be a pattern paper pack that you are including, okay? That you're using. And all right, well, let's just get started. So I'm gonna put this one to the side, but basically you just take off this label. And this is so funny. This is the first time I've done my nails in months. But anyway, it comes right off. I mean, at least it should. Okay, so we can just remove that. So this is the paper pack I want to use. I fell in love with this. I think I have 2 or 3 of this paper pack. And I mean, you guys, the sky's the limit. You guys know. I mean, there's whatever's that you like is out there that you have. I think this is really gorgeous. Everything about this paper pack is just so pretty, and I think I used it for one something. I mean, look at this. Ooh, is that my main paper? Wow, okay, I think this will be my main paper that I'm going to use for the whole background. It is just so pretty. Oh my gosh. And like I said, you know, you want to make them as much the same as you can, but if you want to use different background paper for the second one, you know, that's up to you. It's no big deal. As long as everything else is pretty much the same, because I'm not going to discuss both swaps when they come in, you know, I'll open one up, check it out. Oh, I always get the question if you have to send one for me. No. Sometimes people do it, and it's very kind, and I love it, but it's not required, you guys. I'm here to serve. That's what I'm here for. So this is almost 12 inches. It's actually like 11 7/8, right? I think I'm going to leave a little bit of a border because it's impossible to get behind here. I mean, really, and that's another reason I like this clipboard, because other clipboards you can see behind there that they're still like wood or whatever, and it's like, eh. This one's really tight, and it's right on the edge, so I love that. So I think what I'm going to do is leave, like I said, a little bit of a border of the brown showing through. If you don't like that, don't. You can cover the whole thing. Like I said, some people like to Mod Podge and stick it down and then Mod Podge again. That's, you know, up to you. We are making a pocket, so it's going to be harder to do that. I would say just construct it the way I'm doing. It's going to be really simple and clean. So if we're at 11 7/8, let's say 11 3/4. That leaves the smallest amount, okay? So 11 3/4. So if this was 11 3/4, let's see. I mean, that leaves the tiniest edge. I would probably go a little smaller even than that, but that's okay. I need to write this down. Sorry, guys. Like, do I have a pencil? I should. Okay, and the smallest scrap of paper? Yep, sounds good. Look at this. 11 3/4 by 9 inches. Perfect. So, oosh. I'm barely taking off. So 8 7/8. That is really small. Let's say if it was 8 3/4. See, that's a lot. Yeah, 8 7/8. So I'm going to cut this down to 11 3/4 by 8 7/8. I know a lot of times people don't like working at eighths. Just, you know, matte layer it however nicely you would like. Again, I'm going to make a pocket, so all my sizing is going to come off of this number. So that's just how it is. But 11 3/4 by 8 7/8. Okay, I'll be right back. So when you put this on here, obviously we're going to cut a notch out. I mean, it's just the littlest bit on either side, and I like the look of that a lot. So, okay. So we have this here. What I'm going to do is just take a pencil. Now we can just measure this, but I think if you just take a pencil and know that I'm going to cut right on the outside of that. And then this needs to tuck up in here. So what we need to know is how deep that is. From the very edge to here, that's 1 1/8, but our paper is going to be a little shorter, right? So, oh my gosh, let's say 1 inch in and see where that leaves us. Okay, so let's pretend, I know this is not great because, you know, you do have to do a little something. I was thinking about designing something on Cricut. It's really like here, so if my 1 inch is there and it's really like here, what I'll do is just do that. And so now I'm going to draw a line from here to here. Actually a little bit outside that. Okay. And then here, just get in my lines. Let's see how far down I need that to be. If you're trying to hold this straight. This is probably the trickiest part, guys, but honestly, it's not the biggest deal. Okay, so I'm gonna trim that away. And if you do it right, like let's say you get this done and you like the way it looks, just lay this over the second one and then just use that as a template, you know, so you don't have to come back in and do it again. But let's just, before I cut this off, you just kind of test that out. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it's like right on there. That looks good to me. Okay. So, like I said, it's about 1 1/16, should I say. So on the 1 inch, it was like this much more, right? But you can just look at yours and see kind of where it's at. Now, it's possible this is manufactured different from the next one. I don't know, you know. So it might be kind of individual to what you're doing there. I'm going to pull this back this way. And you can definitely use a craft knife. I usually don't use scissors, so I'm not sure what I'm doing here for cutting. you can definitely use a craft knife. I'm just trying to go straight as I can on those cut lines that I had made myself. And if you still have pencil marks, which I really don't, this isn't even an eraser, you can just erase those. Okay, so this is our basic piece here. And I mean, that's pretty good, guys. I am going to corner around this, so I'm not worried about that quite yet because we're going to add our pocket. So that fits in there really nice. We're going to corner around. I'm going to corner around it after I get my pocket on. So our pocket, what do we want to do? I think it needs to be a nice size. Now, the reason I'm saying everything needs to be low profile is more so it fits in the packaging than anything, because obviously if we put a pocket on here, it's going to be impossible to just use this as an actual clipboard, like writing and stuff. I think it's going to be cute though later to just add things and like, oh, I want to make a card for whatever, and there's like some die I want to use, and there's some of this, and you can just tuck it in there and have this as a prep board, you know? I think that'd be fun. But anyway, so once that's stuck down, I want a pocket. I think it's going to go like about this high. So let's see how high that is. Again, I'm just making this up right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 inches high. Okay. So I'll write this down better for you guys in just a minute. So if we want it to be 5 inches tall, the pocket, we need to add a ½ inch for a glue tab. So we already know it's going to have to be 5½ inches tall by 8 7/8 inches wide, plus another ½ inch and a ½ inch, which is another inch, by 9 7/8, right? Roughly. So I'm going to cut a piece of paper that coordinates, and actually this is really pretty. Oh, I love this dotted paper. Look at that. Okay. I'm going to cut this down to 5½ by 9 7/8, and I'll be right back. Guys, I'll go over the numbers again in just a minute, but here we have this piece. And what's nice about this is that now we're only, it doesn't matter that it's 7/8, 9 7/8. You're just taking this and you're going to score it a ½ inch on both short sides and one of the longer sides. So this one ½ inch, and then another ½ inch on the other side. Okay, so again, we don't even worry about the eighths, other than eyeballing it right when you cut it, which is basically what I do. Let's put that guy away. Actually, I'll still need that. That's okay. I'll say I'll still need this other part. So whenever I make a little squat box or anything like that, I always like to notch away this last piece, right? So we're still going to do that right to the score line, and either side. Okay, and then we're going to take this and go ahead and score it. And I'm scoring it a little bit, kind of pushing it out this way because we want a little bit of room. We're going to attach it to the outside around the pocket base. And I suppose you could just stick this on top of your paper. I just think it looks better tucked in. So, and then it'll be easier for you to stick things in and out of here. So basically what we're going to do before we even stick this down is stick this to this. And that was my plan all along, and you know what? That worked out real nice. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm just kind of training this a little bit. So that's our pocket, and again, you know, these are about the same size, so I'm trying to score it so that it makes, so my paper's not buckling behind here. Hold on, this one needs to be scored a little bit further out. No, stop doing that. Okay. Something like that. Okay. And so we are going to glue this down. So just glue down our flap. So we're going to take our time with this. Like I said, obviously, you don't want your flaps to bother anything. So I'm just trying to make sure, there we go, that my paper's not buckling under the flap. So like right now as I stick this down, I'm going to kind of score it out that way. Okay, and then this side too. I'm just keeping it relatively flat. So when I come over here, I don't want my paper to buckle, see? So I'm just paying attention to that. Again, I'm kind of pushing out, accommodating my paper so it stays nice and flat. Let me see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. glue. And look at that. I know it's hard to see because this is as high up as this camera will let me do. Okay, and you know I want to corner round. So those look like pretty deep corner rounds, so I'm gonna use the 1/2 inch. Oh my gosh, you guys. Again, really clean and neat. Like I said, I'm not using Mod Podge. I'm not getting all, I'll say muddy over here. I guess not really muddy, but like sticky and just all that. This is just super clean. It's gonna be really cute. Now I'm sticking this down. If you want to add like a little lace and you want it to go around the whole thing, then go ahead and put it down now. I'm just gonna let mine end if I add anything like that on here. I was thinking about making a little divot notch, but then at the same time if I add lace you're not gonna see it anyway. But see how you have room in here, right, to put stuff, but not a ton. And that's the whole point. So now you can definitely use a wet glue and stick this down. I don't know that that's the best thing. I've always just ever used ATG or double-sided glue, so I'm going to turn this over, and if my ATG is not broken, this thing is always doing something, I'm really going to come around every edge. So when you use the ATG, you're just holding the little, this down so it moves, and then I'm going right to the edge. You want to pair it up with some glue also, that'd be great, because ATG will dry out at some point, you know. I've seen things come apart that were just put together with ATG, so I'll probably use this and a little bit of glue. And I'm talking about like memory books, you know, things like that. This will just lay there and it shouldn't be bothered. But sometimes when you're trying to do 3D things and you use ATG, it will definitely come apart. And as you can see, I'm just lining the whole edge. If you're using double-sided tape or like some red tape, good stuff, definitely do that. Okay, and then I'm going to just put a ton. And wherever I put the ATG, I think I'm going to put a wet glue. This is just art glitter glue. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and just put some down just to help us out. You know, so it sticks quickly, but then also sticks for a long time is what I want. So I'm just running. However you want to adhere this, that's up to you. It's just gonna stick down better with that. You want to do some inking, you should have, you know, done that before we put the glue on. That's not really my thing, but if that's your thing, go for it. And we're going to turn this over, and then that wet glue kind of helps us also with our placement, because if it's not quite where you want it, you'll have a little second to kind of zhuzh a little bit. Let me see, I'm looking on side to side, I'm looking front to back. I'm looking at the bottom here. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to have to commit, guys, so we will do that. We will just commit. You can take your bone folder or any kind of scrapey tool and just really make sure that's all really stuck down. You guys, I'm super happy already. Oh my goodness. Everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. We're burnishing, burnishing, burnishing. Okay, so I'm gonna take a moment to just keep burnishing all around everything, and I'll be right back. And that is my covered clipboard. It looks lovely. Let's talk about sizes again, and please construct yours the way I'm showing. If you like yours to go to the very edge, you know, that's up to you. I know some people like to do some sanding. It looks really cool. Whatever, you know, but what I'm trying to say is cover the whole thing, okay? Nice and neat. And, you know, the pocket should be the size I'm showing, the 5 inches high, just so that we're all on the same page. But if you want to bring this out to the very edge, that's up to you, okay? Just do a nice job of it, cover the whole thing. I left a little border. Maybe you don't want the border, fine. But just come up with your numbers. So when the base paper I did was 11 3/4 by 8 7/8. And then I just judged this, which, you know, it looks like a couple inches if I really look at it. It's like 2.5 inches possibly. But, you know, you just get your clipboard and, like I did, put your little marks, cut to the outside of those marks, and it was about 1 inch and 1 inch and 1/16 down is what I cut away. Yours, again, might be a little bit different, you know. So there it is. The pocket is 5 inches tall, so that meant my paper is 5.5 by 9 7/8, scored at 1/2 inch on either side and at the base, right at the bottom. So again, 11 3/4 by 8 7/8, 5.5 by 9 7/8. And then now everything is whatever you have. So I think what I'll do is the die cut pieces and the pieces of paper, because that way for sure there's something that's kind of quick and I'll finish today. And then we'll do the shaker and the mix in the next video, which honestly I could probably do it all today, but like I said, kids are waking up and all that. So 5 by 7s, and I'm not asking you guys to include, you know, these kind of things. I'm asking you for the paper, things to embellish with, and shaker stuff, right? So I'll just go through this and see what papers I would like to cut down. You know, this is very plain. I don't know about that, but I'll see which ones I would like. I'm just going to cut down 5 by 7 pieces, okay? And I'll be right back. So I chose these 3. I mean, look how gorgeous this is. So I'll cut a 5 by 7 from this bottom part, cut 5 by 7 this cute little mushroom paper, and cut 5 by 7 of this beautiful pattern. And I'll be right back. If you have a die that does a 5 by 7 that's like perfect, go ahead. It has to be 5 by 7, guys. I'm just going to take it to my guillotine, so I'll be right back. So there's my 5 by 7s, and I already cut them for both clipboards. So there's that one and this one. And this one, and this one. We'll layer them up so they look pretty. And like this. So, if you want to take these and place them in a plastic bag, I will show you the ones I like to use. We have these guys. I can put them in here or just put them in there plainly. Just know they might move around. This probably won't because it's nice and secure. So it's up to you. If you want to package them, you want to put a little topper on your bag to make it look cute, you know, you can definitely do that. So we have this one. There's some little fluff in there. So that's my 5 by 7s. Oh my goodness. Oh, a bag topper, I guess that's like a 3D embellishment. Yes, because it, you know, it has its 3D-ness. I mean, there's lots of embellishments that we can include over here. So there's that. Those are my 5 by 7s. And what I'm going to do is now take some dies and cut some bows and things like that. So I'll be right back. So like I said, I'm going to use this rosette guy, and I think I'll include 1 rosette set and 2 bows. Now, complete sets is what I said. So on a rosette, you stick it to like a circle background and you have maybe like a little scallop circle topper. So I'll cut those pieces too. So everything that's included that you need to complete that project, right? And then I have this die set that I was gifted that's super cute, and it makes angel wing bows. And I think there's 2 sizes in here because it seems like... So I suppose I could do both sizes, but honestly I want to just make some big pieces like this. So I'm going to use this set of them. And for this one, you have this little guy, you have this guy, and you have this guy. You need 1 of each, basically. I think this comes down like this, this one does its own thing, and then you have the topper piece. So I just need 1 of each piece, and I was just going to run it through just like this. But if you've never had dies that are stuck together, all you're supposed to do is just kind of, and they come apart, right, at these little notched edges. Or you can cut it with a wire cutter. But generally, if you just mess with it up and down, it'll come apart. But like I said, since I need 1 of each, I'll probably just run it all through at the same time. It's done pretty efficiently, isn't it? So, I'll be right back with those die cut pieces here. I have these guys, and this is supposed to make like a icicle looking thing, you know, like a snowflake, should I say. So I'm just going to remove those pieces. I mean, you could leave them. For me, it doesn't really make sense, and so I'm just going to take this over here and just line it up so just those little bits get cut off. And I hope that doesn't hurt anyone's heart, because they definitely just don't need to be there. For this especially, and since it's so delicate too, they're just gonna get messed up. It's just, you know, not necessary. So I like the other side of this rosette maker for, you know, everyday occasions. So we're gonna cut that off, and there we go. And then we'll also need, like I said, a base and a topper. And this rosette is actually pretty large, so I'm gonna use this guy and just cut a gold center if I can. Scrap of paper here. So we have that one for this guy. I can cut the one for the next one, but I'll just do that later. And then for the base piece, so I just another piece of paper for this one. I'll just grab, I was gonna say, some white paper. Okay. And those are all the pieces you would need to make a rosette. So those pieces will go together. That's for 1 rosette. And then all my bow pieces, again, all the different loops that it needs, plus its center, and this one too, plus the center, it's here somewhere. There it is. And I'm also going to place these in one of those same kind of bags, and I'll be right back. And again, you want to make a little topper for this. Whatever it is you want to do to decorate, that's fine. All my pieces are in there. If you are going to make a whole rosette, what I was going to say is if you want to cut down paper, you know, your cute paper maybe, and basically the way I've shown you guys how to make rosettes by hand, super easy. You just take your strip, maybe an inch or 2 inches, score it every 1/4 inch, and then cut it in half so you have two 1-inch strips. That'll actually make 2 rosettes because they're already 12 inches long. Or if you want to use like 6-inch pieces of paper, then you would just do the same thing, a 2-inch strip, score it every 1/4 inch, cut it in half, and that'll make 1 rosette. You can include those in here. If you have a long one that's, you know, 12 inches, this is basically 12 inches here, almost, right? I would just fold it in half. You know, rosettes you can fold in half, it doesn't matter. So I would just pick a spot right in the middle and just fold it in half and then stick it in here, and that will be your rosette, you know, to be packaged away nicely. So I'm going to put those in there. And again, I can bring things up towards the top so you can see it more cutely, but we're also going to, on top of here, put our shaker stuff, which is going to clip here, and on this side our shaker mix is going to clip over here, and then we have decorations for this. I think I'm leaving too much to the end, right, because we want to decorate this too with at least 3 embellishment items is what I had said, so that, you know, it could be stickers, a little lace, a little something, maybe a little something up here, whatever it is you want to do. So I am going to leave it for next time, but for right now we have our 5x7 pieces, we have our 3 3D embellishment type items that are flat, right? We decorated it and we went over the rules. So I will see you guys at the next one. Again, my email's in the description box, and I'll have links to whatever might be pertinent. Again, these plastic bags especially. For the shaker mix, I'll probably use my little holographic bags that really work really well. I haven't had a blowout with those, and anytime I've seen a swap come in using those, it's been great. So I will link those right now too in the description box, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.